Hello there. The Labour Party looks to be ready to back the amendment that could rule out a no-deal Brexit. The Labour Party is on the verge of whipping its MPs to vote for the amendment to Theresa May's Plan B motion due to be debated next Tuesday. This amendment was put forward by Labour MP Yvette Cooper and could force the government to go back to Brussels to ask for an Article 50 extension in the event that there is no Brexit deal with the EU in place by the 26th of February, more than one clear month prior to Brexit Day. Now, as I understand it, this amendment would first have to be allowed onto the House of Commons order paper by the Speaker of the House, John Bercow. And if it is, and it gets voted through as part of legislation, it could bind the government. But to get to that stage, it would have to be signed off as law by the Queen, which would put her in the position of signing something into law that was both against government policy and contrary to a democratic majority vote. The government could as a result ask her not to sign it, but we would then be in dangerous constitutional territory, as I pointed out in a previous video. So I can't believe that the leaders of a major political party would countenance an action that could put our constitutional monarchy in such a position. Wait a minute, we are talking about a bunch of Marxists here, aren't we? They might well see it as an opportunity to damage the royals. But the problem they have is that they cannot just unilaterally stop a no-deal Brexit this way. They could possibly force the UK government to approach the EU for an extension, but if just one of the EU 27 member states says no, then the no-deal exit will still happen under EU law. The only way that could then be stopped is for the UK to unilaterally rescind the Article 50 letter itself, which would stop Brexit completely, not just delay it. But Cooper will know this, so maybe she's hoping someone else will add in another amendment to her amendment, calling for Article 50 to be extended or completely revoked if there is no deal in place by the 26th of February. After all, she won't want to be seen as the person who openly put forward a plan to totally reverse Brexit, will she? Either that, or she may be hoping that it will act as a sort of springboard to such an outcome. Moving on. Hopes of concessions by the EU may have been raised a little when the EU Economics Affairs Commissioner, Pierre Moscovici, speaking at the Davos World Economic Forum, said that Brussels was waiting with the door always open and no one wanted a no deal. But it looked more to me like a call for the UK to just get on and either sign up to May's deal or stay in the EU. And Michel Barnier, the EU's chief Brexit negotiator, has ruled out accepting Theresa May's so-called Plan B, as well as the possibility of a managed no deal. Firstly, he said that the Irish border backstop could not be time limited and that the possibility had already been rejected by Brussels twice before. Not sure about you, but this does not sound like the Brussels door is open to me. This will also hold Theresa May below the waterline when going back to Parliament to try and somehow convince MPs that all is well with her withdrawal agreement. The only flexibility in the system as far as Barnier was concerned would be if the UK dropped its red lines and decided, for example, to remain in a customs union with the EU or participate in the single market, both of which are obvious no-nos to Brexiteers. And secondly, Barnier said that no-deal Brexit option could not be some sort of managed no-deal of a collection of mini-deals leading to a situation of business as usual. But he also said that the UK will have to stump up £39 billion for the so-called Brexit divorce settlement, whether the UK leaves the EU with a deal or not. These commitments are legally binding under international law, he said, and I cannot imagine that Britain will not respect its commitments. I must say both I and the House of Lords committee that looked into it beg to differ on that one. Now here's some more despite Brexit for you. A recent 2019 Deloitte report into foreign direct investment shows that the UK has received over $140 billion worth of FDI since 2015, which is more than France and Germany combined. And just to be clear, in 2017 alone, which is after we voted to leave the EU, UK FDI was over $140 billion, while France and Germany could only manage a little over $94 billion combined. Finally, this one will cheer you up. Although, as I've already said, Michel Barnier has ruled out the possibility of a managed no deal, it turns out that the EU Commission seems to have other ideas, as it has today issued a press release that tries to do just that. This particular release concerns two contingency proposals that the EU Commission has adopted to prepare for the impact that a no-deal Brexit would have on its fisheries industry. The first proposal is for EU fishermen to receive compensation from the EU Fisheries Fund for the temporary cessation of fishing activities to help offset some of the impact of a sudden closure of UK waters to EU fishing vessels in a no-deal scenario. The second, though, is for the EU to give UK fishing vessels the right to fish in EU waters until the end of 2019, as long as that is reciprocated by the UK. The EU says it will work with the EU Council and EU Parliament to ensure these are in place unilaterally by them before the 29th of March 2019. But let's be clear, this does not allow them to fish in UK waters unless we let them. All this would do is put the proposal on the table in front of us to consider. Now, wouldn't it be good if our UK MEPs were able to vote on it? Now, this is the sort of proposal that could be made across the board in a managed WTO exit of the UK from the EU. Both sides identifying immediate problem areas and then looking at how to deal with them and negotiate them as they arise. So it looks like the EU has already started the managed Brexit process. This is where our negotiators should now be concentrating their efforts and playing their own hardball over the next 2 months as we move confidently towards leaving the EU under WTO terms. So please let us all know what you think by leaving a comment below, and thank you for watching. Please do like and share this video, and also subscribe to my channel. And when subscribing, please do remember to press on the little bell next to the subscribe button. That way you'll get an alert every single time I put up a new video. Thank you very much for watching.